Chloe Peterson says, sources confirmed to me, Caitlin Clark suffered a very mild bone bruise in her left ankle on August the 7th. So Caitlin Clark basically got hurt again. How did she get hurt again? I don't know. It's definitely looking hella spooky right now, because if Caitlin was hurt and supposed to have been not doing certain things, how do the Fever organization allow her to get hurt again?
Devastation has hit Indiana Fever Nation like a thunderbolt. Another injury, another setback, and another gut-wrenching reminder that even legends aren't immune to catastrophe. Caitlin Clark, the unstoppable force who turned arenas into cathedrals, is now stuck in the purgatory of endless, confusing injury reports with no end in sight. But this time, it's not just about missing games. It's about a season being stolen. It's about the systematic destruction of the most electrifying talent the WNBA has ever seen. A masterpiece being vandalized in real time by a league that seems determined to let it happen.
What were the odds that the Indiana Fever would miss the playoffs prior to this season taking place? Just there's so much fishiness going on in this league, and you just sniff around a little bit, you can tell. What is the payout for somebody who bet, oh, the Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark, with a new head coach, with all these new additions? What's the payout if they just, surprise, miss the playoffs? Indiana Fever reporters, beat writers, pawns, whatever you want to call them, they are suddenly reporting an August 7th ankle injury.
The numbers tell a story that would make even the most optimistic fan reach for the tissues. Clark has missed 22 games this season. 22. That's more than half the season. The woman who never missed a single game during 4 years of legendary basketball at Iowa, who played every contest in her rookie WNBA season, is now collecting injuries like trading cards. A left quad strain, a left groin injury, a right groin injury, and now, in a twist of cruel irony, a bone bruise in her left ankle that happened while she was trying to rehab from her other injuries. This poor girl is falling apart in her early 20s, and the organization responsible for her care is being run like a mom and pop shop, with fans getting nothing but lies and misdirection.
None of this stuff, like, why tell us now? None of this stuff is just, it's not making sense, man. I mean, this organization, man, it's being run like a mom and pop shop, bro. Like, God, like, what is going on? What is going on, man? I mean, it's ridiculous at this point. It's just flat out, it's absurd. I don't even, nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's liars. We can't get the truth about anything.
Until yesterday, we knew about the quad and groin injuries that have kept her sidelined for most of the summer. Now suddenly, Fever beat writers are reporting that she suffered a bone bruise in her ankle during a workout on August 7th. Why are we just hearing about this now, weeks later? This is the kind of fishy, non-transparent behavior that has fans furious. We can't get a straight answer about anything. One day the coach hopes she'll be back at practice. The next she's not there and it's just status quo. It's absurd.
There's a video of Caitlin Clark trying to jog. She looks awful just trying to trot. I mean, I don't know what's going on. This is terrible. I told y'all, bro, it's a wrap. I don't want to say it's a wrap. I told y'all she's done for the season. It's a wrap.
Until yesterday, we knew about the quad injury earlier this summer. We knew about the groin injury that's kept her sidelined damn near the entire season. Now we are being told that Caitlin Clark suffered a bone bruise in her ankle during a workout 2 weeks ago. This poor girl is falling apart in her early 20s. Part of me understands the push to get Caitlin Clark back on the court. The Indiana Felines are barely hanging on to their playoff spot.
And let's be crystal clear about how we got here. This isn't just bad luck. This is the calculated, inevitable result of a league that not only allowed but seemingly encouraged its players to treat Caitlin Clark like a tackling dummy in a basketball uniform. Remember the cheap shots? The eye pokes, the blindside shoves that knocked her to the ground, while officials stood around with their thumbs up their collective rear ends. Marina Mabre shoving Clark to the floor, JC Sheldon going for her eyes. Player after player taking their best shot at the league's biggest star, knowing full well the referees would look the other way.
Because Caitlin Clark is the most covered player the WNBA has ever seen. So if she had an injury or tweak something or hurt something almost 2 weeks ago, you probably think we would have heard about it by now, right? Right. Scott Agnes reports Fever All-Star guard Caitlin Clark tweaked her left ankle during a workout in Phoenix, league sources told Fieldhouse Files. Chloe Peterson confirms this. Sources confirm to me that Caitlin Clark suffered a very mild bone bruise in her left ankle. A tweak, bone bruise, forget it.
If you're as disgusted by the WNBA's failure to protect its stars as I am, hit that like button and subscribe, because this story is only getting crazier. Clark's former coach at Iowa, Lisa Bluter, saw this coming from a mile away. She called for real rule changes, for fines that actually hurt, for ejections when players crossed the line. But the WNBA, they were too busy counting the money Clark was bringing in to actually protect their investment. They let the physical play escalate. They allowed the targeting. They watched their golden goose get beaten down game after game, and they did nothing. And now they're dealing with the catastrophic consequences. The player who single-handedly elevated their league to new heights is stuck on the sideline watching her sophomore season slip away.
And we have no idea when Caitlin Clark is coming back or if she is coming back at all. Every time that they get asked, they just say TBD. We have no idea what's going on, which is, in my opinion, quite suspicious. You kind of know what is going to happen with an injury. The doctors can give you an estimate. The player can tell you, you know what, I'm not really feeling that great. I don't expect to be coming back. But she has been practicing with the team. Maybe she's going to come back for the playoffs and help them get that championship, or at least try to get the championship.
The cruel irony is impossible to ignore. Clark, who had never missed a game in her entire basketball career, has now missed over 60% of the 2025 campaign. The woman who turned every arena into a sold-out spectacle is now reduced to vague practice updates that never seem to come true. Coach Stephanie White keeps giving the same non-answers until you see her in practice. It's really status quo. Translation: they have no idea when or if she's coming back.
Yeah, it's crazy. They can't see all of these fouls and flagrants that's happening, especially when it comes to our precious CC, Caitlin Clark, at the end of the day, but they have time to pay attention to your podcast and finding you. You know what I'm saying? Because of you calling them out on they miss. You know what I'm saying? We don't care about them jive turkeys like they would say in the 70s. At the end of the day, keep it to yourself. Even if you did know when Caitlin Clark, aka my precious and our precious CC, was coming back, which we know she's not coming back. She's out for the rest of the season. She needs to stay out for the rest of the season because of this organization in the WNBA is a whole catastrophe.
And while Clark has been out, the injury plague has spread through the Fever roster like a virus. Sydney Colson, torn ACL, Ari McDonald, broken foot, Sophie Cunningham, torn MCL, all out for the season. It's like the basketball gods decided to punish the entire franchise for daring to build something special around their transcendent talent.
The Caitlin Clark injury situation is officially a mess because not only is there not more clarity, there's more confusion about what her timeline could be. And that's coming on the heels of it seeming to be pretty clear when Clark would return to the court, or about when she would return to the court. It was said on the ESPN broadcast on August 12th that Stephanie White hoped Clark would be back in practice this week. Open portion of practice, Clark is not seen. And Stephanie White afterwards said it's status quo until Clark is back at practice. Well, what changed? Right? I know there's never been a direct timeline, but all the signs seem to point in the direction of Clark returning soon.
I can't stand Stephanie White because she keeps covering up and doing lies, and I find her very deceiving, and she lacks integrity. She don't tell the truth. Remember, she covered for Dewana Bonner, saying she had personal reasons and didn't tell the truth about it, and then she lied about Caitlin Clark's injury, where it was a lot severe than it was, but she said day to day, kept stringing a carrot, and then once again she lied again and didn't say a word about her being hurt, getting her ankle hurt. What's up with this team being like very deceiving and not telling the truth and not like being transparent with the fans? Like, people love Caitlin Clark. They want to know what's going on. They're worried about her groin injury. Is she getting better? Is she not? You know, we're all thinking, oh, she might be coming back soon.
Indiana Fever fans aren't just disappointed, they're furious. And rightfully so. They invested in season tickets, planned their schedules around games, and believed in a championship run. Instead, they're watching their team's medical staff give updates that sound more like hostage negotiations than injury reports. The frustration is palpable. Fans are calling for the Fever to shut Clark down for the season, rather than risk her long-term health. Others are demanding investigations into the league's officiating. Some are even questioning if the WNBA and the Fever are being transparent about the severity of Clark's injuries at all.
She is injured, but she suffered 3 lower leg injuries, and now we're talking about Caitlin Clark suffering a minor leg injury as well in practice, which has affected her shot while she was trying to play through her injuries, affected her shooting for her long distance, her jumping, her elevation. We all know what happens when you aren't right as a guard and you have to get lift and you have to score, you have to push off on your legs and your foot. You do not want to risk Caitlin Clark coming back and her suffering serious injury that may prolong her being out for even longer. That's not what you want to do. We've seen it happen to Kevin Durant. When he came back, he had a calf strain. We've seen it happen to...
And now, with the regular season ending on September 9th, the harsh reality is setting in. Clark might not play another minute this season. The bone bruise in her ankle, while reportedly mild, happened while she was rehabbing other serious injuries. Her groin still isn't healed enough for her to practice. Time is running out and hope is fading fast. WNBA analyst Rachel Demita made the bold prediction that many fans are thinking but nobody wants to say out loud. I don't think Caitlin Clark is coming back. The words hit like a sledgehammer.
The storylines in the WNBA dump have been non-existent since Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have been injured. Now, with Sophie Cunningham out for the season, there are literally no stars in the WNBA. It would not surprise me if the Indiana Felines were being pressured by either the WNBA Players Union or the league itself. Hell, maybe both. It wouldn't surprise me if the Felines were being pressured to get the Rood from Waterloo back on the court. But like I've been telling you guys for weeks, Caitlin Clark is not coming back this season.
Here's what nobody in the league office wants to admit. This was preventable. Every single one of these injuries, this entire season-long catastrophe, could have been avoided if the WNBA had done its job. If they had protected their stars instead of letting them get mauled. If they had called fouls instead of looking the other way. They let Caitlin Clark become a punching bag for jealous veterans and dirty players who couldn't match her talent, and now they're paying the price.
This is the last thing that I'll say about that podcast interview. As Sophie did mention, she talked about Caitlin Clark briefly and her recovery, and she basically just said, like, it is a day-to-day thing. Caitlin doesn't even know when she will be back, so she didn't really give any more information than that. But I think a lot of fans are speculating, will Caitlin Clark be back? Because Sophie is now out for the season, will the Indiana Fever risk it by bringing Caitlin Clark back? If Sophie is out, do the Fever even have a chance in the playoffs? Why would you bring Caitlin Clark back? Should you bring Caitlin Clark back? Will she be practicing this week? They have a tough stretch of games. Are they going to bring her back against a team like the Minnesota Lynx? We just don't know. And I, like I've said in the past few videos, I don't think Caitlin Clark is coming back.
Is that something you and the medical staff just kind of reiterate with her? Just, hey, it's okay, take your time, there's a big picture we got to think about here?
Yeah, and I think just the experience throughout the year, trying to come back and come back quickly, has also taught her, you know, that she needs to make sure that she's 100%. And yes, every competitor wants to play. But at the same time, you know, doing it the right way and making sure after we've had a couple of setbacks that we're prioritizing her long-term health and wellness is the most important thing.
This isn't just about one lost season. This is about a career trajectory that has been violently derailed by league incompetence. Clark was supposed to be entering her prime, building on her historic rookie campaign. Instead, she's learning what it's like to be fragile, to be vulnerable, to be betrayed by the very league she was saving from obscurity. The WNBA forgot the most basic rule of business: protect your investments. And now, as the 2025 season slips away and championship dreams crumble, we're left wondering if we'll ever see the same explosive, game-changing Caitlin Clark again. It's not just a setback, it's a tragedy. And the worst part, it was entirely preventable.